Hey, Acho, McConaughey speaking.
Oh,
yeah, I want to have a conversation. I was like, McConaughey? Like Matthew McConaughey?
Damn.
My voice starts getting high when I talk to famous people.
Yeah,
McConaughey?
baby.
Like,
Yeah, baby.
He's like, hey, I want to have a conversation. I say, okay. I say, let's do it in a couple days. I'm thinking I don't want to be a one-hit wonder, right? I ain't trying to be nobody's Soldier Boy, right? I'm one banger. I was like, I'm just not going to do another episode. Shout out to Soldier Boy, though. That one hit was a banger. So I was like, yo, I don't want to be a one-hit wonders. But McConaughey says, let's do it tomorrow. So now I'm like, okay, Academy Award winner wants to record with me tomorrow. What we finna do? Now, at this point in time, my world is changing. Right. I'm getting messages, Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer Aniston, Zoe Saldana, like people just hitting me up, like influx. I called the studio where I shot at, very similar to where we are now. They said, hey, Emmanuel, I'd love to host you. Problem. I said, what do you mean a problem? They said the whole studio is painted sky blue. It takes 24 hours to paint and 24 hours to dry. Anybody who's seen Uncomfortable Conversations knows I shoot in an all-white room with an all-white psych wall. So I'm like, what the hell are we gonna do? Remember, it's COVID. So what's the move? And I'm not a high-level operation. It's me, my best friend who runs track, Olympic gold medalist, and a wedding videographer is my video team, right? It's just us three. So she says, hey, we're gonna get a white sheet of paper, we're gonna roll it down, and we're gonna cheat the camera so it looks like you're in an all-white studio. I don't tell McConaughey this, though. I can't afford for him to back out. McConaughey shows up, he's like, oh, this is interesting. We're all trying to act professional and distinguished. My wedding videographer's trying to act like they know what they're doing. McConaughey and I shoot the episode. 3 days later, I get another call, no caller ID number. Hi, Emmanuel, Oprah Winfrey speaking.
Jesus Christ.
And then she asked me one question I'll never forget. She says, Emmanuel, what is your intention? I said, Oprah, my intention is to change the world. I truly believe I can. I'm currently working on writing a book. She says, books? I love books. Yeah. And so then I became the only person not named Oprah to write more than one book under the Oprah imprint. And so I wrote 3 books under the Oprah imprint. And so Oprah and I became fast friends after that moment. So she partnered to produce Uncomfortable Conversation for what I would suggest was the first season.
Wow.
So that was...
That's an amazing story. I don't know that I knew that full
Yeah, I never told it in like totality.
Yeah, I never heard it because it was so powerful. I'm sure you get it all the time. Like no one can forget. I think about COVID and I think about the thing that made me not think about.
You hit me up.
Yeah, I did.
You shot me a text.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. You shot me a text and you said, thank you for articulating the emotions I felt, but I didn't have the words to say.
Yes, that's right. And I really did because it's one of those things where I think, there are a couple of ways, and I don't really knock anyone for how they attack a lot of the unjust things that has happened to us as people here in America or abroad in Africa and the things that continue to happen. But what I loved about what you were able to do, you were able to articulate it in such a way that people could receive it, and people can receive it messages in different way. But what I loved about it is like it was solution oriented, right? Yeah. It wasn't just steam. There was steam with solution, and it was just going, wow. And you were going places, and I think what made it hit was people have these conversations all the time. It's always like when I'm privy to listen to other people gossip about other people, like, why are you telling that person that? Why can't you just go tell that person?
Correct.
And you did that thing, the stuff that's like, why are they so mad? And why are they so angry? And why they do this? And why they? And then you just brought it to the forefront. And it was like, holy moly.
How did McConaughey feel after that? How did he feel? Like after you, was it like, did it help him out? Or was it more like this, what the hell are you talking about?
Nah, McConaughey.
Was like, no,
I'm my brother.
Man,
McConaughey, I don't think McConaughey did it for McConaughey. He's never told me this. I think McConaughey did it for everybody else. I think McConaughey realized what white man in this climate is willing to sit in this space where he can get all the backlash in the world for saying the wrong thing, asking the wrong thing, doing the wrong thing. Remember, a lot of pastors got in trouble in that moment. There's a pastor in Atlanta, I won't say his name, y'all can look it up if y'all want to, and he said, slavery was a good thing. and Lecrae got in trouble because Lecrae was sitting on stage with this pastor, and Lecrae didn't instantly correct him. A lot of people were speaking out, and a lot of white people were stepping in it because they just don't know what to say. No fault of their own to some degree. It's this uncomfortable and unfamiliar conversation. I don't think McConaughey did it for McConaughey. If I were to really step back and think about it, I think McConaughey did it for the greater good of the world, and he knows he's McConaughey. That's why I'm forever indebted to him. Because if McConaughey doesn't sit with me, I don't know what happens.
Yeah, right.
And so when I wrote my first book, and it's number 3 on the best-selling list, and his book was number 1, and I couldn't even be mad because he had Green Lights, which came out the same week as mine, and I was like, man, without you, McConaughey, I don't know that I'm here.
Yeah, because it to me, in a weird way, you used a person who had such a massive platform, a white man, to be able to then have the conversation. So he says, I'll step in this.
Yes.
I'll step in here and have this conversation. And then what I noticed in my own circle was that, there was this willingness to have more of a conversation. And what I was saying to you when I texted that is like, I've always wanted to have that conversation. And one of the things I struggle with is being a people pleaser is I don't want to make my white friends around me feel uncomfortable, right? And people say, oh, why wouldn't you? It's like, no, because I want to be able to have a conversation that promotes it. And so sometimes, and we all do it different ways.
But
and so for me,
I know.
Yeah, I was going to say just real quick. I was going to say for me, I'd rather you be around me just like, and then you start to understand and learn from me where it will then change your perspective. And I'll just say this real quick.
Yeah.
One of the biggest examples I saw of this was in the locker room. I went to San Diego State, and we had this one dude, bona fide racist, won't say his name, bona fide racist, and we had this dude, bona fide blood. I mean, banging on like straight up, might have some bodies on him.
Yeah.
And these two couldn't be, like furthest from each other.
Yeah.
But what I saw through football, through locker room, through proximity, I saw these dudes come together, and today, 30 years, 20-something years later, they are best friends. When we go to reunions, you can't even see these two not together.
Well,
I'm like, they are friends.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
But my thing is,
it was learning from each other.
It's learning, but you got people in sports. You got something dominated by what we look like.
Yeah.
So it would behoove a white player to keep his mouth shut. Don't you think? Because you're like, you can be racist, but are you going to do it on a football team? Really, you got to kind of keep it, because I know some guys. I know some guys, like look at Drew Brees when he opened his mouth and said what he said about the politics. And they're like, Drew, really? All you played was with brothers that fought behind you, and you went and said that bullshit. But he said it after he left. Why didn't he say it while he was there?
There are guys, and I'm sure you've had.
Am I making sense?
No, you're making sense.
Of course.
Yeah. I had a teammate with the Raiders, and he used to say, the reason why black people are weak is because you guys listen to rap. And he would hold the rap CD, at the time it was a CD, he says, look, hold it to your chest. See, look, it makes you weak. And he'd do all these little things. But like, we all got on him, right? But we were still teammates. And at the end of it, he came out a different dude. Because I think right now what happens is like, you have to hate this other person, you have to attack them till they can no longer, till you dismount. Like, and there's another side of it, like in a weird way in the locker room. This is in the NFL, this is not college now. In the NFL, what I learned is that we still know that we have a mission. He's on payroll, we gotta be teammates, we come together. And what happens, the very same dude we used to talk about, like this dude crazy, he's sitting there imagining this crazy crap. He turns around and his heart changed. And when I saw from college and I saw the heart change of a dude who grew up in the boonies, I mean, he asked, and he was very proud of it too, because that's all he knew. And then you got this dude who will real quick. And I was like, how the heck did you two become friends? And that's when I knew, I said, the power of that patient love and the ability to teach, to have the conversation. And they would have those uncomfortable conversations, but they didn't have the label. They didn't have the label.
No, I know. When you have uncomfortable, you don't want to, you say you didn't want to make your white friends uncomfortable.
Yeah, because I'm a people pleaser, like my natural.
I got you. Yeah. But then you got Trump getting rid of Black history enough so white folks don't be uncomfortable. So when are they not? It almost seems like they would be uncomfortable all the time.
Right.
They're uncomfortable when you exist. They're mad because you're in the neighborhood.
Right.
What do you mean when you say uncomfortable? That's damn near everything that we do.
That's
so where do you go?
It's the conversation.
Because sometimes they just don't hold themselves accountable. Period. They don't want to be told a damn thing that. Oh, this is what happened to the Native Americans. This is what, I'm not knocking you, but you gotta just know that, just acknowledge it. Right. But them not being uncomfortable means we're never gonna be able to talk. That's how I feel sometimes.
I understand, but I think that's why, like, my mindset was, how do you want to try to attack the hearts?
Right.
You're not finna, like, I'm with you. And here's where I think a lot of people mess up, because a lot of people have done this to me. Anybody who's trying to pursue justice, I won't knock the way they're doing it, at least not publicly. That's the problem I think a lot of Black people have, considering, everybody black skin, not talking about the culture now, talking about the color. It's like too much front-facing division. Even if you don't agree with the way you're doing something, I'll just tell you in private.
That's it.
Or I won't tell you at all, as long as it's not detrimental. You feel me?
Period.
If you're coming out with a song that's like, we need to be free, I don't know if any white person who's in politics is hearing your song and changing laws, but hey, if this is what you feel for you, do your thing. You feel me? But I feel like a lot of the dilemma is, in this day and age, is if you're doing something the way I don't want to do it, I'm going to undermine what you're doing, which is just hurting the ultimate cause. You know what I'm saying? So my approach was always my approach of, if I can make better change by being inside the room than I can ever make being outside the room yelling at what y'all doing inside the room.
Right.
Yeah.
And you actually came under a lot of attack. You've been attacked by, like a lot of people within the community, and saying, for the ones that disagree. What is that like? How does that make you feel? How do you perceive that? And when they come at you in that way?
How it makes me feel: sad, disheartened. Like, if I'm just being vulnerable, transparent, it makes me feel sad, because, like, anybody who really knows me or knows my intention is to promote peace. But I'm going to promote peace in a peaceful manner. I'm not going to promote peace with violence. I don't think it can be gang. I don't think anybody's going to win if it's like, what, F them, da-da-da. That's just not my objective. So when I've been attacked, speaking about uncomfortable conversations, when I've been attacked for that, I'm just like, one, I'm like, dang, I wish y'all really knew my intention. Two, I'm like, y'all don't get it. Y'all don't get it. We won't make any change if we don't present unified. If we all presenting is, because on the outside, how do we look? How do we look if I'm calling another Black person an idiot for their approach, another Black person's calling me an idiot for their, now white people confused. Now white people are like, but wait, I actually liked what he was saying. Wait, but this Black person saying what he's saying is wrong. So wait, and then he's, so now the hearts that we're trying to change, they're in turmoil because we're not presenting as a unified front. And what I found interesting about other colors and even other cultures is, like, if you at least present as a unified front, it's easier to digest. But if mom and dad are telling you two different things of information, what's the listener supposed to hear? If the substitute teacher and the real teacher are telling you different things, who are you supposed to listen to?
You speak to my heart as a father, and I have this conversation with my wife. I'm not perfect. She's not perfect. And I say, if I ever correct the kids or do something with the kids and you think that that's gonna, just pull me to the room. But don't correct me in front of the kids, because now you've undermined my authority. And now the kids go, well, so dad doesn't know, so it's mom. And then they play the this. It's like, come talk to me in private, and then I can then go make the correction or make the change. But when it's like, it's almost like now it's like this immediate response is anger, and I have to show you that I'm upset by calling you out for the clicks or whatever. That's another 154 conversation in the books. We are bridging culture back to its roots.
From Africa to the world, we're telling stories our way.
So make sure you hit like, subscribe, and share your voice in the comments. This is 154.